It's not luck, it's not games, it's not manipulation. It's a system that this master of strategy developed 500 years ago, and it works because it understands the true nature of power and influence. While other men are begging and failing, you're about to master the techniques used by the most powerful princes in history. The first secret I'm about to reveal will destroy everything you thought you knew about getting what you want from a woman. Why do most men fail miserably when they try to get something from a woman? Because they make the most basic mistake of all. They act like beggars instead of leaders. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that it is better to be feared than loved. But when applied to relationships, this translates to something far more powerful. It is better to be respected than needed. The first secret that will change your life forever is this. Women don't respond to requests, they respond to expectations. When you ask a woman, "Can I take you out?" you've already lost. When you say, "Would you like to go to the movies with me?" you've already put yourself in a lower status position. You're asking for permission, you're begging, you're handing all the power over to her. True leaders don't ask, they communicate their intentions. Machiavelli understood that whoever controls the narrative controls the outcome. Instead of asking, declare, "On Friday, I'm going to that new restaurant downtown. Come with me." It's not a question. It's an invitation that assumes interest. This isn't arrogance. It's leadership. Why does this work so brutally well? Because it triggers something primal in the female psyche. Women are biologically wired to respond to confidence and leadership. When you act with expectation instead of supplication, you give her two clear options. She either offers an alternative, showing genuine interest, or she politely declines, saving you valuable time. But here comes the part most men don't get. If she doesn't respond or show interest, do not insist. Don't send another message. Don't try to convince her. Leaders don't chase, they attract. If a woman doesn't value your initial leadership, there are thousands who will. Real power comes from the ability to walk away without being needy. Machiavelli knew that perceived power is as important as real power. When a woman sees that you don't need her validation to feel whole, your value automatically multiplies in her mind. Let me ask you something that will change your perspective forever. How many times have you seen a CEO ask for permission to make decisions? Never. Leaders assume, they act, and others follow. If you truly want different results, you must adopt the mindset of the leader Machiavelli described, someone who knows what he wants and communicates that certainty without apology. If this is blowing your mind and you want to completely master these principles, make sure you subscribe to the channel because what's coming in the next few minutes will be even more devastating. I'm going to teach you the secret language that no woman can resist. The exact words that make her emotional brain activate automatically without her even realizing what's happening. Now that you understand the power of expectations over pleas, you need to master something even more devastating. The secret language that activates the female emotional brain without her even realizing what's happening. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by what they see than by what they feel. But when it comes to women, they judge more by emotions than by logic. Here's the mistake 95% of men make. They try to convince women with facts, data, and logic. They say, "I'm stable, I'm responsible, I have a good job, I'll treat you well." Bro, that's not seduction, that's a job interview. Women don't choose with their heads, they choose with their hearts and then justify that decision with their minds. The secret language Machiavelli used to influence the most powerful courts in Europe was based on one simple truth. Emotions move people, not arguments. When you want to generate interest in a woman, you have to activate her curiosity, her intrigue, her inner challenge. Don't tell her what you are, make her feel something with you. Instead of asking boring questions like, "What do you do?" or "Where are you from?" use intriguing statements that compel her to respond. For example, "You have that look of a woman who secretly has a rebellious side." This isn't a question. It's a statement that creates intrigue and challenges her to reveal something about herself. Why does this work so brutally well? Because you're activating her need to prove something to you, to show you who she really is. Women have a deep psychological need to be understood and discovered, not interrogated like a living resume. The real power is in remaining a mystery. Machiavelli knew that uncertainty breeds interest. When you reveal everything about yourself from the start, you lose your entire strategic advantage. Women lose interest when they feel they have you completely figured out.
Mystery is your best weapon. Don't tell her your life story in the first conversation. Don't explain all your plans and dreams. Reveal yourself in layers, like a fascinating book she needs to keep reading to understand the full story. Every time you see each other, let her discover something new about you that surprises her. Here is the most powerful Machiavellian technique for creating an emotional connection. Use contrast. Combine confidence with strategic vulnerability. Show your leadership, but also allow for moments where she sees your human side. This creates an emotional addiction because she never knows which version of you she's going to get. For example, you can be completely dominant, making decisions about where to go, but then show genuine curiosity about her thoughts on something that truly matters to you. This contrast keeps her hooked because she can't predict your reactions. Remember, women don't fall in love with what you say. They fall in love with how you make them feel. Machiavelli understood that emotions are the true battlefield where the most important influence is won or lost. If you can make a woman feel curiosity, intrigue, challenge, and a little uncertainty when she's with you, you have total control of the situation. But here comes the most important part of all. Now that you know how to speak her emotional language, you need to learn how to make her want to give you what you desire without you ever having to ask for it. I'm about to teach you the most powerful psychological system that exists to inspire any woman to be the one to take the initiative. After mastering the emotional language you've just learned, now comes the most devastating part of this entire system. How to make her want to give you what you desire without you ever having to ask for it. Machiavelli understood a brutal psychological truth. People only value what they've had to fight for. Here is the fatal mistake most men make. They try to take instead of inspiring her to give. They try to convince, pressure, or manipulate to get what they want. Bro, when you have to force something, you've already lost your entire strategic advantage. True leaders don't take, they inspire others to want to give. The first Machiavellian system to achieve this is the strategic reward system. You only reward the behaviors you truly want to see more of. If she replies to your messages quickly and with interest, you give her more of your attention. If she gets lazy or distant, you automatically pull back your emotional availability. This isn't punishment, it's intelligent leadership. Why does this work so brutally well? Because women, like all human beings, value what they feel they might lose. When your attention and time becomes something that must be earned, it automatically becomes more valuable in her mind. It's basic psychology. Scarcity generates desire. The second system is the implicit scarcity of your availability. Don't always reply immediately. Don't always say yes to all her plans. Your time and your presence must feel like a privilege, not a right. Machiavelli knew that perceived power is as important as real power. When she suggests something and you reply, "Let me check my schedule," you are communicating that your life is full of purpose and that she needs to earn a place in it. This isn't playing hard to get. This is having genuine value and communicating it naturally. The third system, and the most powerful of all, is to make everything feel like her idea. Instead of saying, "I want to see you," you say something like, "I bet you look incredible right now. Dare to prove me right?" Suddenly, sending you that photo becomes her idea, her decision, something she wants to do to prove something to you. This technique is devastatingly effective because it completely eliminates any psychological resistance. When something feels like her idea, there's nothing to reject, no pressure to resist. On the contrary, there's a challenge she wants to accept to prove something about herself. Machiavelli wrote letters to the most powerful people of his time in a way that made them feel as if the decisions were their own, but in reality, he was subtly guiding them toward his desired outcome. This is real influence, not crude manipulation. The secret is to frame everything as an opportunity for her, not a request from you. I wonder if you have the courage to... I bet you're the type of woman who... I'm curious to know if you really are as... All these phrases put her in a position of wanting to prove something, of wanting to give something, because it feels like her decision and her opportunity to shine. Remember always, people resist requests, but they embrace opportunities to show who they are. When you can turn what you want into an opportunity for her to shine, winning is inevitable. But all of this is completely destroyed if you make the most fatal mistake of all, the mistake that instantly annihilates all your power and makes her lose respect for you forever. I'm about to reveal what this fatal mistake is, and more importantly, how to avoid it completely so you maintain your position of leadership no matter what happens.
The most fatal mistake of all, the one that instantly annihilates all your power and makes any woman lose respect for you forever. Negotiating for attention. If you ever find yourself trying to convince a woman to pay attention to you, to answer you, to value you, bro, you've already lost the war before the battle has even begun. Machiavelli had a golden rule that he applied to all the princes and kings of his time. If you have to convince someone of your value, you have none. This brutal truth especially applies to relationships. The moment you start explaining why you deserve her time, why she should answer you, why she should care about you, you automatically become someone without real value. Have you ever seen a millionaire begging people to acknowledge his wealth? Have you ever seen a lion trying to convince other animals that it's the king of the jungle? Never. Real value isn't explained. It's demonstrated through actions and presence. Men of true power simply are. They don't have to convince anyone of what they are. When a woman doesn't answer you and you send another message explaining why she should, you've completely destroyed your leadership position. When she becomes distant and you try to analyze what you did wrong or ask her, "What's wrong?" you've just handed her all your power. Leaders don't chase, they don't explain, they don't negotiate for respect. Here are the 3 unbreakable rules of the Machiavellian leader that you can never, ever break. Rule 1. The rule of emotional mirroring. You give her the exact same energy she gives you, but only once. If she turns cold, you turn colder. If she pulls away, you pull away further. But here's the key. You only do it once, as a mirror. Then you walk away completely. There are no second chances for drama. Rule 2. Eliminate pick-me energy forever. Never, ever try to prove why you're a better option than other men. Never compete for her attention. Never beg, plead, or lower yourself to get her validation. The moment you enter choose me mode, you've lost all your masculine authority. Rule 3. Absolute abundance mindset. Always, Always, always act as if you have unlimited options, because the truth is, you do. There are millions of incredible women in this world. If one doesn't value what you offer, there are 10,000 who will. This isn't arrogance, it's mathematical reality. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be cruel once than to be cruel 1,000 times." Applied to relationships, it is better to walk away with dignity once than to suffer 1,000 small humiliations trying to get something from someone who clearly doesn't value you. When a woman sees that you don't need her to feel complete, that you can walk away without drama, that you have the power to say no to behaviors you won't tolerate, your value automatically multiplies by 10 in her mind. Women respect men who respect themselves enough to walk away when they aren't valued. Real power doesn't come from getting any one specific woman. Real power comes from becoming the type of man that any high-quality woman would want to win over. When you shift your focus from getting her to becoming someone worthy of being gotten, everything changes. If she doesn't answer your messages, don't insist. If she cancels plans without offering an alternative, don't reschedule. If she disrespects you, don't tolerate it. You simply walk away in silence and continue building your empire. Kings aren't pursued, they're the ones who are pursued. Remember, your ability to walk away is your greatest power. When a woman knows you are willing to lose her if she doesn't value you properly, she will, paradoxically, do everything she can not to lose you. But this only works if you are genuinely willing to walk away, if you truly understand that your peace of mind is worth more than any specific person. You now have the complete system that Machiavelli would have used in the modern world. You have the power of expectations, the secret emotional language, the systems to inspire investment, and the unbreakable rules of masculine power. Machiavelli changed the world with these principles. Now, you can change your life. If this blew your mind, drop Prince in the comments and subscribe to the channel, because the secrets yet to come will be even more devastating. Don't miss out on the transformation that's about to begin.